Hello everybody, welcome back to Talking Walls. My name is Dave and I'm joined as ever, the gruesome twosome, it is Matt Cooper. Matt, what is going on?
How's it going? Not too happy about that,
but... as always guys, we're back with another match preview. We're here for Wolves versus Bolton, or Bolton versus Wolves rather, as we are away from home. But before we jump into all the stats, as usual, you can check out the fans bet specials for this week. They'll be on the screen for the Wolves win, West Brom and Aston Villa loss or failed to win. So you can check those out now. Make sure you go and check out fans bet and sign up using Talking Wolves. But as always, Matt, we're going to be talking about the game versus Bolton today. But as well, there was a pretty big video that went up on our channel this week. It was a chat with Portuguese football expert Alex Goncalves. You may have seen him over on Twitter or some of his tweets shared on forums or Facebook. But we had a chat with him. It was me, Matt and Finners, who was also on the channel. It was a really good chat. Got some great responses. So if you haven't already, go and check that one out. But Matt, leading on now, it's our first game obviously since since the Birmingham game. I was going to say since promotion, but obviously promotion was already wrapped up. Quickly, because we didn't really do a Birmingham review, what did you think of that game against Birmingham?
I thought it was easy. I think they coasted to victory without even really breaking sweat. Birmingham look a poor side. Didn't really trouble us apart from the Maxime Collin effort and Jukovic in the second half. But I thought it was a really good performance, considering I'd imagine they were nursing a few hangovers. I certainly would have been in their position. Well, I certainly was in their position. But yeah, I thought it was a good performance and another clean sheet and another goal for Bennick.
Yeah, perfect. He's doing all right, man. His goal to game ratio at the moment or goal to minute ratio rather, is pretty solid at the moment since rejoining. But as you say, I think it was a pretty straightforward win. Birmingham never really threatened us much, to be honest. So it was a good way to cap off a nice little promotion party as well. But as always, this is the game we're going to be focusing on, Bolton away, which is obviously the 21st of the 4th. And it's a game where Wolves, if they grab just 1 point, can confirm the title. It's just a matter of time now, really. But as always, we've got some stats. We love the stats here on Talking Wolves. I even posted one earlier on Twitter, which has got some people talking. So we're going to start off, obviously, the result earlier in the year. We smashed them. It was 5-1. One of the few home games that I've missed, which is really annoying. But yeah, we smashed Bolton 5-1. But if we look at the history, we've won just 3 games in the last 18 versus Bolton. However, Bolton have only beaten us once in the last 5. But the last league win at Bolton was in 1994. The last win in Bolton in general was 99 in the FA Cup. So I'll put that one, the league stat, I put on Twitter. Wolves haven't won away at Bolton in the league since 1994. And it was goals from Andy Thompson and 2 from Guy Whittingham. It's got a few people talking. I mean, me and Matt weren't even born then, so we don't have a clue what's going on.
I was merely just a thought in 1994. Probably wasn't even a thought, to be honest. I'm not now. But
people are asking us questions, and we're just there like, we don't know.
Was that Guy's first game?
Yeah, somewhat the manager's first game. We don't. But yeah, it's a crazy stat, and it's in the league at the moment, 55 points between the clubs. Similar sort of story to the Birmingham game, Matt. Do you think we're going to be ending that record this weekend?
You know what I'd like to see? I'd like to see Nuno park 11 men behind the bus and go for the draw.
Just imagine.
Just to wind people up. Just because we only need a point, don't we?
Yeah,
and I love us to just sit deep and just shit out a draw. That'd be brilliant. He won't do it, but
I don't think the away fans would be pleased with that.
I don't think they'll care. Honestly, I don't think they care.
Yeah, I think, Bolton have obviously got a bit more to play for. Obviously, to be fair, I say that.
Well, they've got everything to play for, haven't they?
Well, that's what I mean. But Wolves have obviously already won promotion, but I know Nuno has said that he wants the title. So I don't think he's going to rest players or rotate the team too much. Obviously, Bolton are fighting for survival. They're 2 points above the drop zone, and they've got a game more than everyone. There's Barnsley who've got a game in hand over them. So Bolton, it's tricky for them. As we say, they've got a good, decent record against Wolves at their place. But I mean, I think this season speaks for itself. We smashed them 5-1 earlier in the season. We look at Parkinson in his last 4 games as a manager, hasn't beaten Wolves. He's lost every single one. Bolton as a whole, their top goal scorer is Adam Lafondra, who's got just 6 goals. I believe it was probably Gary Medine before he got sold. Wolves legend.
How did they get £6 million for Gary Medine?
I don't have a clue. I don't even think Lafondra scored 6 for us, did he? Probably scored about 3 or 4.
I felt sorry for Lafondra because it was just a long ball to someone who's
that was true. I was really excited when he signed as well.
He's a good finisher. He still got like the most goals from a substitute appearance in the Premier League.
Something like that. He was lethal. Obviously they got Cole Henry too. Probably a similar story maybe to David Davis from last week. It'll be interesting to see that. But as a whole, do you think Nuno will sit back, or do you think he'll just play a natural game?
I think it'll play into our hands. They'll have to attack us, and then we'll just pick them off. I can honestly see us putting 3 or 4 past them again, because if they go one down, they're going to have to keep going because they need the win. The win is what they need. They can't afford for any other result, especially with Barnes having a game in hand. And I can't see Nuno really rotating it either. Even when we do win the title, I can't see him rotating players. I think he said he wants 100 points. I believe that's what he said, and he's not really spoke about targets and stuff before in conferences or interviews. So I think that says something. I agree with what you're saying, because if we, even for the sort of first 5-10 minutes, sit back a little bit, not 11 men behind the ball, but sit back a little bit and allow Bolton to have a bit of the ball, they'll start thinking, right, we can attack and attack. That's when Wolves are at their best, when teams are open up and we smash them. And honestly, if Bolton do play like that, where they have to attack, because they do need 3 points, a point for them, it's good in some senses, but it might not be good enough. So they've got to go for the win. I think that could play into Wolves' hands absolutely perfectly. But we do have some team news. Obviously, there's going to be no Cavallero. I believe he pulled his hamstring against Blues. So unsure whether we'll see him. But Brian Bennett has also had a knock. So, Matt, there's a spot at centre-half and a spot in the front three. So who would be the 2 players? Or would you rotate that front three altogether? Obviously, it was Jota, Costa and Cavallero who started against Birmingham. So you got a spot next to Jota and Costa. Who would you go for? Afobe, Bonatini, Rafa Mir? It's got to be Afobe.
Afobe,
yeah. On current form, and with Bonatini being hopeless since January, I think it has to be Afobe. Was it 5 goals in 5 starts?
Something like that,
yeah. He's playing well. I don't think he's playing well enough to warrant him becoming a permanent transfer, but he's playing well, and at this level he's a very good player. He seems to be working a little bit harder. I know we criticise him on Talking Wolves for his work rate, and he probably has been listening. That's what it is. Nothing to do with Nuno.
Big fan of the channel.
Yeah, but as are all Wolves players. No, he's done really well. I'd play him with Costa and Jota. As it goes with centre halves, I'd like to see Courtney Horse have a game, but it'll probably be Danny Bart. Regrettably.
Well, I don't think it's going to be Miranda, is it? And it'll be interesting to see if it is Bart or House. Horse, however we're saying it. I think it's Horse, isn't it?
Courtney.
Courtney, yeah, we're just calling Courts by his rap name. That's it. People are saying, he's left-footed, but Bolly's right-footed. You could either swap the 2. It'll be interesting to see if he did that, what that would be like, obviously, because we're so used to seeing Bolly with Douglas, how it would work out with him and Doc. I think probably 80-90% of Wolves fans would probably want to see House, but
yeah, definitely.
I'd imagine it probably is going to be Danny Bart. But at the same time, it's not like Bolton don't really have any big men, do they? Up top, off the top of my head.
Adam Lafondra's tiny, isn't it?
Well, that's what I mean. So it's not like it's going to be like a difficult task aerially for us. So,
but then you might want someone who's a little bit more mobile, which is Courtney Horse.
Exactly.
He's athletic, isn't he? That's what I really like about him. You look at Danny Bart, he's a bit slow, sluggish, probably a better defender. But Courtney Horse, he can afford to have like a yard of space. He can eat the yards up.
It was a couple of years ago. I think it was when the Jackets last season, when House was solid in the team. I think we were playing the 4 at the back. He was playing left centre back. I think he might have been next to Danny Bart, and he was for a number of weeks our best player by far. I think he pulled up against Borough or something, and that was it. He lost his place in the team. Just couldn't seem to get it back. This is a big chance for him. Hopefully he gets given it. He's got a new contract. It's obvious that Wolves want to.
Yeah. I was made up he had the new contract, because if it had gone elsewhere, you can just see him being a real asset for somebody else and us not utilising him.
That's what I mean. So
they haven't given him a new contract, I think, to sell him on. I think they see him as part of the future, and I'm glad. I don't think you can say the same for players like Ayorfa who come through at the same time, who completely fallen off the map, even at Ipswich, because it was always them two, wasn't it? It was Courtney Horse and Dominic Iorfa.
I liked Iorfa as well. I think in this system, it's a shame that we never really got to see him play. I think
he's more of an athlete than a footballer, though, and I think that doesn't really work for Nuno.
Well, to be fair, I think on paper as a wing back he would do well, but with the way we play, a lot of it's one touch, quick passing. I don't think that would have suited Iorfa, to be fair, because he's quite clumsy on the ball as it is, isn't he? So
yeah.
But stat-wise, again, Bolton haven't won in the last 5. They've won just 1 in 10. All signs are going to a Wolves win, surely. Wolves, I mean, if you are a betting man, the odds on Wolves are still pretty decent. I think the bookies are probably hoping that Wolves are still a little bit hungover from last week. But I'm sure the training has been hard this week for, hopefully, a Wolves title-winning campaign. Quickly, before we end, thoughts on the Neves rumours, Matt? I mean, it's looking like he's going to play again tomorrow. We're just leaving that, ignoring all of that. Is anything going to happen with Ruben Neves this summer?
It's going to happen all summer, isn't it? But I can't... Unless someone offers £50 million, then we have no choice but to accept it. But, you know, we're promoted. We're going to spend big in the summer. He said he's happy, whether he is or not, you know. But it appears to be that he's happy. He's got all his Portuguese mates over here playing with him.
Yep.
So, he's always going to be linked with big clubs because he's a world-class player. But I think he'll stay put for this season. Season afterwards, he'll probably be off unless a miracle happens and we get into Europe or something. But I think he'll have another season in Wolverhampton.
I think with the position Wolves are in, if Mendes did push that or another club tried to push it, I don't think we'd use Mendes again if he sort of backstabbed us almost like that. Especially with Wolves. If we had 1 year in the Prem and we finished like 12th, 13th or what have you, and obviously he was outstanding, then you can accept it because obviously he's going on to bigger things. But now the fact that, not saying he hasn't given us a chance, but he hasn't, like next year, it's definitely worth 1 year or at least 6 months in Wolverhampton. So
I wouldn't be surprised if he left. I'd be gutted, but I wouldn't be surprised. But it's Mendes, isn't it? I mean, everyone thinks he's doing us a massive favour, which is because he's attracting players that we wouldn't necessarily attract. But say you look at Bolly, Porto brought him for, I believe, 6 million. Yeah. We're buying him for 12. You know, we spent £12 million on Costa, who was part of the youth set up in Benfica, so that's cost them nothing. Jota was brought for 6 million. We're buying him for 12. So we're still not getting the players on the cheap, so to speak. But what he does have is that pull that we wouldn't necessarily be able to attract players without him. So it's got its benefits and it's got its disadvantages. But we're reaping the rewards at the minute. Whether we will be in a season, 2 seasons time, we'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah, as we say, let's live for the moment, and we'll worry about Ruben Neves if it does as soon as a reputable source maybe starts reporting it, not Phil from the tacos place in flipping Portugal. That's when I'll start.
It showed 442 reporting it, but they also didn't have Neves as the best championship player, so just knows that jack shit. 442.
I think it's BS anyway. So I wouldn't worry, Wolves fans, until someone like Sky or something comes from the Express and Star or Wolves or whatever you. That's when we can start worrying.
Tim Spears said that
it's going nowhere as well.
All the murmurs from the club is that no one's for sale. But he said that everyone has the price. Like I said, if someone offers 50 million, you got to take it. That's football. You know, every player does have his price, but I don't think people will be offering that kind of money. Fingers crossed. Please stay, Ruben.
If you're watching, I'm sure you're a big fan, Ruben. Please stay. But guys, thanks for watching today. As I say, if you haven't already checked out our interview or chat with Alex Goncalves, you can check that out on the channel. Make sure I'll put it somewhere on the page now if you're watching it on a web browser. As always, make sure you hit the like button down below. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Obviously, we've got the Bolton game this weekend. We're hoping to get a midweek video out. And next week, obviously, the final home game of the season. We're going to hopefully get some, obviously, atmosphere videos. Obviously, the title lifting. But if you are a Wolves fan and you want to chat with us, have a little interview between 2 and 5 minutes after the game. We stand normally outside the North Bank. Let us know. Drop us a comment or tweet us on Twitter and we'll get you involved. Facebook and Twitters as well down in the description. But until next time, guys, we'll see you all very, very soon.